What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here for the final episode, not of the series, but this season of My Team Career Mode for Season 1. If you haven't seen the last episode, which is the Aussie Grand Prix, I recommend you go check that out right now. I highly recommend that you do, probably because of this move right here on Valkyrie Podcast at turn 6. Don't see too many of those moves at turn 1, but not turn 1, turn 6, sorry. Honestly, that was a race I will never ever forget. But that's in the past now. We are looking at the present time of things right now. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the season finale of Season 1 of My Team. And guys, don't worry, this isn't the end of the series. If you guys are worried, don't panic. There's at least one more season, maybe two, to come in F1 2020 on My Team. I was hoping to do more seasons on this, but apparently I was hoping to get to like what would you say, 4 or 5 seasons of My Team, but unfortunately that is not the case. We're probably only going to get probably 2 or 3 at least. Best 3, I'd say. Anyway, so that's it for now. That's enough of that. Moving on to this weekend, we've got pretty much 9 mil to spend, but I'm actually going to save a lot. I'm not going to spend any of that on departments. I'm actually going to save that for maybe to either keep Robert Schwartzman for season 2, or maybe a new driver heading into season 2. It depends how Robert goes in Abu Dhabi. If he can't get his car into the top 15 or top 14 in a car that's capable of doing so, like I've been able, if he can't do anything that I've been able to do, then I reckon his time might be over in this team. We had a couple of upgrades come on the car. I think one of them was a tyre wear upgrade, I don't know, but we got enough resource points to do the last powertrain upgrade that was affected. So now those parts should be okay to be on the car for season 2. At least they should be anyway. No other upgrades that I can think of. At this point, we've only got 159 resource points to spend anyway, and a lot of them are pretty expensive, only because they're either major upgrades or ultimate upgrades. I don't think we have any ultimate upgrades up our sleeve, so that's a lot of upgrades to go. I think we've got one more coming in. What is that? Oh, it's the chassis. I think that might have been weight reduction. Was it? It was weight reduction. Honestly, I don't know what difference that would have made. We're actually the worst car in aero and chassis. They are our 2 biggest weaknesses in this car. So here we are with the live standings. We've got a fight, not just for top 10 in the points, but also I want to keep a very close eye on Max and Lewis in this race. I honestly want to see how these two are going to end up. Max leading the championship by 4 points. If they do finish on equal points at the end of the race somehow, Max would still win the championship. Not by wins, or he will be by wins, but not second places, because Max has won more races than Lewis in this season. So if Lewis can't finish ahead of Max, or he can't win the championship by being ahead, at the end he has to rely on something dramatic.
I told you about the new parts that have come in from the factory. Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
Thank you, Jeff. So yeah, I really want to literally keep a close eye on those two. As you can see on the map, the track changes that you saw in the real life Abu Dhabi Grand Prix haven't yet been updated in the latest patch that have came out, so we're still racing on the old layout. I'm hoping that the new layout is going to be in the 2022 game. I would actually really like to have that in the 2022 car. So the second race with the new race wheel, and honestly, I struggled in this practice session. I literally struggled. The only time that I was gaining was on the straights, and the slow speed stuff where all the downforce is required, I was literally bang on crap. I mean, honestly, I wasn't like driving bad or anything. Like as you see me going through the third sector, I honestly wasn't driving that bad. I'm pretty much nailing all the corners, hitting on the apex. But yeah, the time that I lost was literally extraordinary. So that's it's a bit concerning. Like I honestly don't know how many more changes I have to make with the new wheel for me to be able to not spin the car. And how about that? A beautiful 360 rotation, and it gets it pointing in the right direction. So yeah, just use too much that curve. That curve can actually catch you out if you're not careful. And just a beautiful 360 there, absolutely beautiful. Heading into the third sector now, nice screen freeze. And well, we completely missed the apex, and we get a corner cutting warning. How did we corner cut that when we're on the outside? I mean, there is a little right kink in the second part of that, but honestly, I don't understand where we can gain the time. But we managed to get through practice okay. Yeah, not too much to go on about that. Just getting all the resource points in. Even though I had the AI difficulty like dropped in practice, which I always do. Yeah, this session just honestly didn't feel like didn't feel that great. The car was fine, but I guess it was just the amount of steering that I had to put on. I mean, I would have to go like literally over 90 degrees. Or pretty much over 100 degrees, rotating the wheel, which is something that I'm a little bit concerned about, because honestly, you want to be using minimal steering in order to look after your tires and not create too much oversteer. And that is the way that I want to do, and how I want to be faster at this game, and to honestly look after the tires. But we got through practice okay. Heading into quali, I feel pretty good. We did have 2 or 3 upgrades that actually came on the car, so I'm not too sure. I can't remember what those upgrades were. One of them was powertrain, or that might have been actually just the parts that were getting rectified. So now we can rectify that weight reduction upgrade. That'll be on the car in time for Bahrain, and maybe we could do a tyre wear upgrade. Tyre wear is actually a pretty mean around Bahrain, so if we can get those 2 upgrades on, that's a good start heading into season 2. And maybe a downforce upgrade, although we don't have we don't have the resource points to do anything else. We've got 176. A lot of things are going to be well and truly over that. So now that's all the upgrades we can do. It is now time to head to the final qualifying session of Season 1 of my team, and hopefully get close to Q2 as possible. It is go time now for the final qualifying session for Season 1 here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I rate my chances pretty high to get into Q2, and hopefully that is the case come the end of Q1. Now let's get stuck into this lap. So I'm running a bit of a high downforce setup. I've actually been searching a lot of setups actually for all the different tracks. And hopefully this setup, it's an 11.9 wing setup. That might sound a bit high to you guys, especially on the straight. But honestly, when you've got when the track changes actually haven't been made yet, the downforce is actually what you need around here, especially through the middle sector and the first sector, where some of the high speed stuff is, especially at turn 3. Cheeky corner cut there, because apparently we're running short on time and we need to get this lap in if we're going to get out of Q2 and put a good lap in. But however, others are on their lap, Nikita Mazepin being one of them, and my teammate who is actually behind me. So we're going to let him go and hopefully pick up his slipstream come the 2 straights, which is about to come up. So we got to the line in time, and hopefully if we can stay close enough through the high speed stuff, especially in the first sector, and grab his slipstream, we could be a chance to get out of Q2, and hopefully we can get into Q2. I'm lost for words, honestly. At this point, even after a season, I'm running out of things to say. So here we go, out of what is that, turn 9? Currently, Robert, he's moving out all over the place. That is not what I wanted. We did grab his slipstream, and Robert, thank you very much for letting me have your slipstream. Hopefully we can stick it through the rest of the sector, or for the rest of the lap, and hopefully get into Q2. We actually got past Nikita Mazepin as well. He kindly let us go like I did. Well, kind of. I'm hoping I didn't impede too much of his lap, because apparently if you impede, you don't get penalised. Sure, stay close to the track, the shortest way to the line, and we're into Q2 for the second race in a row. We're into Q2. Kimi Raikkonen in 12th in that Alpha. So crazy things happening towards the end of season 1. Hopefully we can split the Alphas or beat both Alphas if possible in the next session.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
Okay, so that is a little bit alarming, but it didn't cost us too much. So now we're only going to do the one run, and to basically put as a banker lap, and we're going to go out again on a brand new set of soft compound tyres at the end of the session. So this is actually the first set that I used in the first run in Q1. So the lap I did was a 36.5, and we actually got a speeding warning in the pit lane for that. So there's definitely more time to find. I actually did a couple of laps, a cool down lap and another lap or push lap in Q1, but not this time. I cruised it back to the pit lane, and now we've actually got a lot more time to keep the tyres in their operating temperature and get out of everyone's way so they can do their laps and we can do our own. But Vettel, he has gone past us, but he decided to let us back past again. That is not what I want. I want a nice clear track and to get myself in some clear air and to not be interrupted. But honestly, Seb, what is he doing? He's honestly not letting us pass. And that was Lewis Hamilton that just went past us. Boy, Seb, what are you doing? Honestly, the AI, I don't know what they're playing at. I'm trying to let them pass, and in doing so, my tyres are now stone cold. So thank you, Seb, for actually not get going faster in the first place. But we got the tyres back up to temperature. So with 30 seconds to go, we now start our final flying lap. But honestly, that's actually happened a couple of times off camera and off recording. That when I try to let the AI pass, they won't even go past, which kind of annoys me a little bit. And because they don't do that in real life, they go past and they just blaze off. Because the guy that's on the out lap is trying to let them pass, and the guy that's on the hot lap doesn't slow down to let him back pass. Honestly. Anyway, so we're over 3/10 up at the moment. I think we might have been like just over a tenth up at the first sector. Braking nice a little bit early because I want to get a nice flowing run through 8 and 9 or whatever that corner is. Sticking to the inside line, heading up towards turn number 10. I think this is a heavy braking zone. I feel like the car rotates very well through here. A little bit wide, but making the apex, well, probably only just making the apex through or 14, 15, 16. I think this is 17, 18, 19 coming up. This is 19. Nice rotation. Want to stay in 4th gear through that part. turn 20, 6th gear, very fast. 4th gear for the last turn. We missed the apex there. We've gone a little bit wide, but still a 1.5 second improvement. Where does this lap put us in terms of the results? Still P16. So we haven't split the alphas and we haven't gone even in front of 1 alpha. But it doesn't matter. We've got a whole race to do, and our fight for this race is Yuki Tsunoda. Even though he's in front of both alphas, we're going to need a good strategy and hopefully something miraculous to have a secure P10 in the Drivers' Championship. And honestly, that would be an awesome achievement if we can do so.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the Yas Marina circuit, just over 3.4 miles long with 21 corners and 2 very long back straights. There are 2 DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 8 and turn 11 and offer plenty of potential for overtaking. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Leclerc, Ocon, Ricciardo, Perez and Yuki Tsunoda, Raikkonen, Skip, George Russell and Mick Schumacher. Gasly, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel and Antonio Giovinazzi. Schwartzman, they've taken a grid penalty. Latifi, Stroll and Nikita Mazepin.
It's time now, lads. It is time for the final race of Season 1 of My Team Career Mode, and probably the closest championship battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in the F1 game. In all honesty, this is literally real life comparing with the virtual world. So, as I said at the start of the video, we're going to be keeping a very, very close eye on what is happening at the front. That's what you guys wanted, and this is what I'm going to deliver for you guys. So in terms of our strategy, we're going to start on softs. We're going to go to mediums. I bet you others are going to do a 2-stop, and hopefully our aim is to get track position. That is going to be key in terms of us getting a points finish and beating Yuki Tsunoda in this race. And so it is time now. 5 red lights ahead of the season finale, and we are racing. Good stuff from Hamilton. He's already jumped his teammate Valtteri Bottas before turn 1. Very similar from what I'm seeing. And Max also gets a good start, and he's already in front of Lando Norris. So that is very important, to say the least, and right now. So it's the two mates from Max, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, I should say, Daniel Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon squabbling for 7th and 8th. Us in 9th, so we've obviously had a good start. We'll see our side in a second, or how about now? Let's have a look at our start. Good initial jump up against some of the other cars, but of course that's second phase, as we all know. 3 wide briefly into turn 1 with myself, Russell and Kimi Raikkonen in his last race of his career. We go right around the outside of Perez and Tsunoda at turn 2. So now Perez is around the outside of us. We hold him off and we rear end or tap the rear of Charles Leclerc, and we nearly do that twice at turn number 6 or 7, whatever that corner is. And now we're on to the back straight for the first time, having to defend from Yuki Tsunoda. The AlphaTauri cars are absolutely redonkulous in the straight line, and he's already passed us before we go to the hairpin. But we make him go defensive. We're going to go right around the outside, and he taps us, and we somehow stay side by side. And DRS isn't enabled yet. It won't be enabled until lap 3, and hopefully we can hold around right around the outside and hopefully keep the position for P9. And we do, just. But now all the other cars in front of us are going to get away from us now. Yeah, so right now, we're in a good position now. We're in P9, but the more important thing is we're in front of Tsunoda, or maybe not for long now, as he's up the inside of turn 1. We've had to go off the track, and we've come out in front of Tsunoda, but apparently, or unfortunately, that is an illegal overtake, so we need to give that place back before the 15 seconds is up. We briefly given the place, but we dive in back up the inside, because honestly, it's a game, and I don't really give too much shits about that. So we're back up into P9, but now that has already given Charles Leclerc a 4-second gap, or we've already coughed up a 4-second gap. Sergio Perez has already got up, got in front of Tsunoda, and apparently he locked his front left tyre into turn 1, probably went in a little too deep. So that's where we touched. That's where we went off the track, and that is where we had to give the place back. This is on board with Perez. After we did give him the place back, he went in pretty deep, and he actually got past Yuki Tsunoda in the process. That's handy for us, but not so handy that we have a Red Bull, who is a much faster car, right behind us. So he is going to be almost or pretty much impassable to keep behind. And in fact, there's a yellow flag, and I think he might have tried to look for a gap, and we might have taken it out, or maybe he took himself out. He's come from a long way back, and he's gone for a gap that was never ever there. I don't know where he's seen that gap, but he thought he did, and he paid the price. And now, so lap 3, this is where DRS is now enabled, as you'll see from the evidence of Yuki Tsunoda's car, and he gets the position. So he's up into P9, but we're in P10. But more importantly, we would still be P10 in the drivers if things stay as they are, because I think it was like 3 points or so heading into the last race, and so and because the gap is about 2 points from 4th down to 9th, as long as we finish, if Tsunoda does beat us, as long as he's no further than 4th, and I'm like right behind him. So if Tsunoda finishes 4th and us in 5th, we would still win the championship, or not win the championship, but we would finish P10 in the drivers, and that is the aim. As long as we're one place behind Tsunoda in the points, from 4th, anywhere from 4th to 9th downwards, we would still win. Not win. Oh my god, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. We would still be P10 in the drivers. Lap 8, people are starting to make their stops, including the championship protagonists. They're going on to mediums. However, lap 8, first stop onto mediums. I say first stop because I don't think those guys are going to take those mediums to the end of the race. So I'm thinking that they're going to have to do at least one more stop. And in fact, Lewis is right behind one of my cars, and in fact, it is me. Max Verstappen now having a battle with Kimi Räikkönen, but I think he might, no, not yet. He's still having a battle with Kimi Räikkönen. He needs to get past this Alpha as quickly as possible, otherwise his charge towards Lewis will be near done impossible to complete. Well, on board with us now, this is a couple of quarters back. Now Lewis is on fresh medium tyres, and now he needs to get past us as quickly as possible, otherwise he's going to be vulnerable to Max in a few moments time. But thankfully, with DRS and that slipstream and that Mercedes power in the back of that car, he is able to get past us with relatively ease. And however, I'm going, Fernando Alonso is out of the race. Fernando is out of the race, and apparently he stopped just before the hairpin onto the back straight. Now, with us, with DRS open and using our battery, I don't know what I'm thinking at this point. And we go up the inside of Lewis, and, well, we've just made him angry. Honestly, we have made Lewis angry, and now he's going to be pretty frustrated now because this... I'm not doing Lewis any favours, but I'm doing Max a favour in letting him catch up to us now. So now we're on old soft compound tyres, Lewis on new mediums, and apparently he's not gonna be happy as we go through the third sector because he's gonna have to be patient until we get to the back straight to go for round 2. There's a lot of similarities that I'm seeing right now. So now Max is right behind us, and apparently Lewis came in. Lewis has come in again. What for? And he's rear-ended us. Lewis has rear-ended us, and he's lost his left front end plate. And now Lewis, he's going to have to come in surely to change his rear wing, and Russell comes in behind him. So he's going to lose a place to Russell because he has to change his wing. The question is, what tyres is he going on to? Softs! Why is he going on to soft compound tyres? He could have easily gone to hards and go to the end of the race and maybe still finish ahead of Max. Because when Max's mediums die off, his hards will come in for maybe a lap or two before he pits. Anyway, Mick Schumacher comes in. My teammate also came in as well. I'm assuming they went on to mediums. So everyone who goes on to mediums before lap 10 is going to have to go to do at least one more stop. But for us, I reckon we've got the confidence to go to the end of the race on the medium compound tyres, to do the last 17 laps on the medium compound tyres. Kimi Raikkonen and Lance Stroll also pit behind me. So pit stop time now, onto the mediums we go. 1.9 second stop. Awesome last pit stop of the year, boys. I say last stop because, as I said like 10 seconds ago, we're going to take these mediums to the end of the race. And there is Lewis Hamilton. He has jumped us regardless because we are on... he's actually right there. I thought he was a little bit further back. We got a warning for crossing the white line at the pit exit. So now Lewis has gone on to softs. I don't imagine he's going to get a pit stops lead over us, and I don't think he's going to get anywhere near close to getting back in front of Max Verstappen. So I think I wouldn't say we cost Lewis the title because he rear-ended us on a fresher set of tyres. So I'd say Lewis has thrown away his chance of an 8th World Championship. And now our fight is with Russell, but where is Yuki Tsunoda? He's P8 at the moment. But of course, I don't know if he's stopped yet, but if he has, he still needs to do one more stop. Max Verstappen getting past Carlos Sainz. No, they're still side by side, himself in the Ferrari. But I think Max is on fresher tyres, but he's gone clean around the outside, and that is another position for Max Verstappen. Even right now, he would still win the championship because he's that far in front of Lewis Hamilton right now. This is Fernando Alonso. He just came out of the pits, and you can see that puff of smoke. So literally, as he came out of the pits, the engine says, "Mate, your season is over." So that is unfortunate for Fernando. And now our fight at the moment is with George Russell. We are faster than the Williams in the performance index, so this shouldn't be too hard. Wow, nice moment out of the triple chicane, but we still make the next turn. We made that turn a little bit better than what it might think. We're going to make George now go defensive into the chicane. We've actually went a little bit deeper. We do stay within track limits, and George gets back past us, but we do get a second dose of DRS, and now that we are a lot closer, we should be able to breeze past George without any force or any fight to go with that. And now we're up into P10. Other cars still need to make their stop, or a second stop, to get to into the race. Max onto a brand new set of medium compound tyres. That's his last stop for the season. He'll take those to the end of the race. Other cars, including Yuki Tsunoda, are into the pit lane as well. This is important for us now. We need to jump Yuki Tsunoda in this round of pit stops. Otherwise, things could get a little bit difficult for us. As you saw there, Lewis did make his last stop. He's onto a fresh set of medium tyres. team radio in just a second.
As things stand, we'll be 11th in the championship.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that what position we were in. But now Yuki Tsunoda is right behind us now. It's okay. It's okay if he gets in front of us, as long as he's one spot. Team radio.
As things stand, we'll be 10th in the championship.
Okay, I had to make sure this time that we were going to be P10, because at this point I was actually confused on who our 5 was. I thought our 5 was Pierre Gasly, but he's been scoring points all season. In the meantime, race leader Lando Norris has actually got past Valtteri Bottas for the lead of the race, and he's on track for maybe his first victory in Formula 1. Yeah, if things continue smoothly for them. Tsunoda now has a run on us. Well, he had DRS to play with anyway. He gets past us into the chicane, but we are hopefully going to get a good run here. It doesn't matter too much if he's in front of us. However, the gap is at the moment 11 seconds or 10 seconds to Daniel Ricciardo. Massive dive bomb into the third sector. We stay within track limits respectively. We're going to give him a little bit of space at the last part of that triple chicane, and we are still holding on to P6 now. I didn't even realise that we're in P6, but as I said a minute ago, I was unsure who our 5 was with. I thought it was with Gasly, but he's been scoring points all season. We go up the inside again of Tsunoda, and I'm thinking at this point, who am I fighting? But it eventually came to me that we were fighting Yuki Tsunoda. And so at the moment, if he does get past us and we can't get back past, it doesn't matter too much. If he's only one spot in front, that's okay. But if he's another spot in front, then that raises concerns for us, because we need to be at least one position behind Yuki if we can't beat him in this race. And so into the triple chicane, we're pretty much vulnerable on the straight, so we need to be getting a good exit out of here, using our overtake, and hopefully be close enough for moving into the third sector. However, I don't think we're quite close enough. This is going to have to be the dive bomb of the century. We try, but we weren't close enough. And so Tsunoda gets past us, but it's not too bad, because I think it's like 8 points for 6th and 6 points for 7th. So the gap was like 3 points. Life standings, it is 1 point at this current time of things right now. Now that we've got Ocon behind us, that doesn't help us too much. Max Verstappen comfortably ahead in third place. Oh no, Ocon's got in front of us. That's not what we wanted. Ocon has gotten in front of us, on board with us now. We need to get past Ocon now. This is going to be an absolute disaster for us. Massive dive bomb on Esteban Ocon, because I don't think, if he stayed in front of us, I don't think he could have been getting past Tsunoda. Or as they say, catching is one thing, overtaking is another. Now Ocon is trying to go right around the outside of us. We have to defend now. We can't afford to let Ocon go. If we do, then it's curtains for us. I really want this top 10 spot in the Drivers' Championship. Honestly, this will be a massive achievement if we can pull this off. And we briefly hold on to Esteban Ocon for the time being. We're going to have to do this for the last 5 laps of this race. This is honestly a massive ask for us. We do have half a lap worth of fuel on board, but I think you guys know the drill. We're vulnerable on the straights. We're going to get overtaken. So now the aim is to get the run out of the end of the first part of the straight, or the back straight, and dive our opposition into the triple chicane. Now that Tsunoda is 5 seconds, P6 for him is pretty much secured. Unless something dramatic happens in front, I don't think Tsunoda is going to get any higher than 6th position. So now Ocon got past us again on the first part of the straight. We've been focusing on getting a nice clean run, smooth and fast, clear run out of the chicane, and we can have a look at Esteban Ocon. We're going to get past before the braking zone, so we can continue on the lap as per normal. We can get through here nice and fast and focus on the third sector. The third sector is basically out of bounds. There is no such thing as overtaking in the third sector. However, we did nudge the wall a little bit there, a little bit wide at turn 20 into turn 21, and we are just holding on. 3 more laps. We have to hold off Esteban Ocon. He tries to go around the outside, but he can't. And now Lewis Hamilton is in the phase now. Now, this raises massive concerns for us. If Lewis gets us, it's curtains. It's P11 for us in the standings. Valtteri Bottas now coming back at Lando Norris. Lando, he might have used a little too much of his tyres. Now, I'm continuously checking with Jeff about what's going on. Now, Esteban, I should say, gets past us, but we dive him up the inside. It's a game of chicken right now. That's the DRS detection line there. It's only 100 meters to the DRS line, and we get the DRS this time. We get the DRS. Ocon is now vulnerable not only to me, but Lewis as well. What is happening behind us? Did Lewis go for the move, or did he not? They're swapping positions on the leaderboard, so I think they're squabbling. Are they? Did they get the move? No, they're still squabbling. This is a massive opportunity for us. I know how ridiculous the AI are on the last lap, so we need to start breaking away from these guys now, and hopefully we can get a 3 or 4 second gap, and hopefully this is enough for us to secure a points finish again and P10 in the drivers on board now with Gasly, and I think Ocon has head up. No, he hasn't. Lewis drives him again. This is giving us a massive free kick for us now. We've now got I think about a 2 second gap now. So as long as these two keep squabbling, they're going to cost each other time, and we can get back to our race. But now at this point we ran wide here, but look at the wheel. Look at the wheel if you can, just underneath the gear shifts or whatever, and just look at how much I'm having to turn the wheel. That's a little bit more, and I've actually lifted off the throttle. So, and if you look at 4 or 5 here, we've gone in pretty deep, but I'm having to turn the wheel a little bit more. Something is wrong with the car. Jeff is not telling me what is going on. Ocon is out of DRS range, thank goodness, but he's still vulnerable to Lewis. I'm telling those guys, please squabble. We went in a little bit deep. I don't think we went too deep. Tyre wear isn't too much of an issue, but Lewis is right up our ass now. We're vulnerable now to the merge. This is not what I thought was going to happen. We've got a problem with the car, but I don't know what it is. We're having to turn the wheel a little bit more. It's not tyre wear, I don't think, but however, there is a lot of understeer in this car. What is going on? Something is wrong with this car. I'm having to turn the wheel a lot more than what I would have wanted, or what I would have thought I did. I'm not turning the wheel like I have been all race. So now I am literally crapping the bed, and now I'm having to drive slower just to get around the corners and keep the faster cars behind us. But this is the last lap of the season. Lewis Hamilton, it's pretty much done. He can't win the championship from here, but Yuki Tsunoda is still in front of us. He's gone. So if Lewis gets past, it's game over, and Tsunoda will get P10. But Ocon got back past now. He has a look at us. I mean, turn 1, Lewis tries to get up the inside. He can't. Now the fight is with us now. The fight is with us. We need to stay with us now. Even though I want to see where Max is, I don't think it really matters, because Max is going to win the championship from here. I highly doubt that Lewis is going to do anything about it from P9. We are defending from Ocon. We're swerving all over the track pretty dangerously, but Ocon gets up the inside. Now it's a game of chicken. Who gets the DRS? It's not us this time. We're vulnerable now on the straight. We need to defend for all our might. Squeeze Ocon to the wall on the outside. He gets past us before the braking zone. This is going to have to be a mega dive bomb if we can hold on to P7 in this championship. We do. We have to hold on to this position now. P7 is what we need. Team Radio.
As things stand, we'll be 10th in the championship.
That's what I wanted to know. Are we still going to secure P10 in the drivers? I think We can't do this now. The third sector is out of bounds. I think we've done enough to secure P10 now. Let's go to the front now briefly before we cross the line. Lando has obviously won the race, but did Valtteri even have a think? He's a long way back now. But remember, McLaren and Mercedes have the same power units. So how can Valtteri even think about a move into the third sector? He's there. He's there for a move. It's going to have to be a mega dive bomb though from Valtteri if he's going to have a look. But I don't think he has. He hasn't. So now Lando holds on, and to secure his first victory in Formula 1, Lando Norris rounds off the season in style, and Lando Norris secures his first victory in Formula 1. He defends a Mercedes and he holds on for his first win. But this man, Max Verstappen, is the My Team champion in Season 1. What a championship. He nearly bottled it as well, did Max. He nearly coughed up the biggest lead of the champion. He pretty much did. He lost the lead in Kota, but he fought back, and he's now world champion. But us, it is only fitting that Ocon has given up. Look at how much we had to turn the wheel. It doesn't matter. It's 7th. It's points, and more importantly, it is P10 in the Drivers' Championship. This is an unbelievable achievement to score points in the last 2 races, and P10. This is unreal.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. Victory today then, but bittersweet emotions I'm sure, as the championship slips through their fingers. Even so, what a fantastic final race of the season this was. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
I am honestly out of breath, guys. That was an insane end to the season and the race itself. To secure points and 7th in, or not 7th, but 10th in the Drivers' Championship is ultimately, it's a massive achievement for not only me but for the team. To have a driver, to have their main driver, their boss, in the top 10 in the drivers, and I think we secured 8th in the constructors, or maybe 9th in the constructors. We'll find that in just a moment. But yeah, 1 point separated us and Yuki Tsunoda in the drivers. So yeah, as I said, we were 3 points ahead, and Tsunoda only had to be 1 more place in front to beat us. So yeah, 8th place was secured. It would have had to take something else for us to beat Aston Martin in the constructors. We would have had to literally be on the podium to be not only Alpine but also Aston Martin as well. But look at that, P10 in the drivers. Max Verstappen is the world champion by 16 points for us, and I had to make sure. So yes, it is a 2-point gap from 4th downwards. 2 points for 9th, 1 point for 10th. So even if we finished, it's a 4-point gap between 3-point gap between 8th and 10th. So if Tsunoda finished 8th and we finished 10th, Tsunoda would be P10 because of countback, because we've had a shocking season. Well, not a shocking season, but we've had good enough results for us. But the 8th and the 4th in Canada and France, I wasn't really expecting that too much. So now we're getting towards the end of the season now. Well, this is now the end of the season. This is where we're going to see who our new teammate is going to be, or if we don't decide to keep Robert Schwartzman for season 2. But all of that is going to be unveiled in the first episode of season 2. And I'm out of breath. I am absolutely out of breath. Driver negotiations. That is not going to be unveiled until the next episode, which is the first episode of season 1 of season 2, I should say. But guys, that has been the season, the whole season of season 1. I can guarantee you guys there is going to be at least one more season, maybe 2. I'm hoping to get a 3rd season in before the FY22 2022 game comes out. That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping that will be the case to come. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a massive thumbs up, and a big thumbs up for Max for winning the championship. Honestly, virtual world and real life, does it have a good mix to it? Because there was a lot of similarities in this video. If you guys didn't watch the real life, I reckon you watch it. Just skip to it, look at some of the clips from this video and see if you can find any similarities, because honestly there was a lot of similarities in this video. Lando Norris fighting with Valtteri Bottas for the win. He was fighting with Valtteri for points in the real life Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but on totally separate occasions he managed to get it to beat Valtteri for his first victory in Formula 1. So that is the end of season 1, guys. Season 2 will be just around the corner. I'm actually going away for the Easter weekend, and I'm actually not going to be coming home until Anzac Day. So I'm hoping that this video is out well before Anzac Day. That is Australian time. But guys, that is it for me now. If you enjoyed the season, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until the next one, guys, I will see you guys next time for season 2 of F1 2021 My Team Career Mode.